I've always had a recurring nightmare. A hospital from a horror movie, a terrible fire, and someone, something, staring right at me.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's your host, Blacky here, and with another Friday review for everyone. Today we are going to take a look at True Fear Forsaken Souls Part 2. So, from what I saw, it's a point-and-click game. Yes, it is. It's a point-and-click game, and it's pretty decently done. A bit on the horror side, but yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into the game. So the game starts you off with a little intro, and you play as this lady looking for her sister at some asylum or something. The backstory and everything is explained in the intro of the game, so if you're interested, then just go watch that. But basically, you're on the way to search for your sister, and you have to go to an asylum, as you do in every single horror game or horror movie. It's always at an abandoned asylum or something or other. But yeah, you are looking for your lost sibling, and basically, you just have a car crash, because as you can tell, she's not the smartest tool in the shed. That was a smart move, stopping the car and then take a look in the back, but as you'll progress, you'll notice that she ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. No one is in any horror scenario whatsoever. So basically, you have a car crash, and that's where the game just starts you off at. So it's very typical to most point-and-click games, point-and-click, and you search for clues, you search for items you can use, you solve puzzles. Yeah, some of them are pretty straightforward, others are not, but we'll get into that. So this is the starting screen. This is the first area you're in. You see your wrecked car. There's a few extras you can find lying around, and you have to find ways to get into the car and get things. But the game tells you what to do, and there is a hint system. But I don't think you'll really need the hint system. Most of the puzzles are pretty straightforward if you use a little bit of brain power. There's obviously other areas, like if you're past the gate, you're at the insane asylum, then you go inside of the insane asylum. There is a little part next to the bridge you can go down on, and you have the car crash area. There's a few rooms inside the asylum as well, but it is a demo, so there's not a lot to explore, but decent sized demo. Took me about half an hour, pretty good for a demo. So yeah, so far pretty good on those points. So as mentioned, there's some pretty straightforward ones. Like here, you have to burn some paper to melt the ice and get the next item. Very straightforward, easily done, not a lot of thinking required. Or you have one like these where you have to use a glove to move the shards of glass, so you obviously don't cut yourself. You get the keys, you go to the back of the car, you open the trunk, and so this is one of the very, very straightforward ones. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. There's some more like you just have to put a battery into the night vision and you're done. That's it. On the flip side of those things, you have puzzles like these ones, the key puzzle. Now, while it seems straightforward, so you just place the keys back in and you can kind of see the shapes, but at the end it was a lot of trial and error because some of the keys just look almost identical and the shapes weren't 100%. So you had to do a little bit of trial and error, but you'll eventually get it, and you can probably do it without a hint as well. It just takes a little bit of time. So this was one of the more menial ones. And there's another one where you have to, by hand, brush away the snow, and yeah, it just got a little on the menial side of things. Like it was, yeah, as you can see, it's a nice little puzzle. It's a little different, but it's more filler than it is thinking. So not the best kind of puzzles, but hey, it has night vision in it as well. I thought that was pretty well done. The effects of the night vision were really well done. It looked proper. Like you can still see a little bit of the surroundings, but you need the night vision glasses to see the details of things, and it has this really nice typical night vision green glow, which I think they did a really good job on. Shame it's a very, very short section of the game. Once you've done all the puzzles in the demo, this is the ending credits, so the end scene. And everything just basically starts rumbling and tumbling, and the gate closes behind you, you're locked in, typical horror kind of thing. But pretty well done. I'm not gonna lie, this is so far a very decent game. The demo was definitely interesting. I would definitely recommend buying it, but yeah, I'm not sure because it's a very typical horror thing, but I'll keep my final thoughts for the very end. So once that's done, you can still go into the menu and you have a little bonus section where you can replay scenes, you can listen to the music, you can look at the trophies you collected, or the cutscenes you can watch again, you can look at your evidence. And I think that's a really nice touch for these kind of games where you can just actually see your progress and look back at it. So my final thoughts on the game, True Fear Forsaken Souls Part 2, is that it's decent enough. For a point-and-click game, it was very fun. Some of the puzzles were a bit menial, and others were just time-consuming, I was missing a little bit of brain power. I feel like some of the puzzles could have been a little more challenging, but all in all, it's a decent enough game. I would give it about 6 out of 10 dragons, only because it's horror and hand-drawn, because I love horror and the hand-drawn animations and the pictures are just phenomenal, so they definitely get a 6 out of 10 from me, simply for those facts. For the puzzles, if they had a bit more challenge to them, they probably would have bumped it up to a 7 or an 8, because in general the game is very good. I do recommend it, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about True Fear. It's a decent game, and yeah, I shall see you all on the flip side of things.